All right, man. Torture talk. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm glad to see y'all up and watch me talk my you know what I mean? So today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Piers Morgan actually issuing an apology to Jay-Z and Beyonce, the Carters. And that just speaks to the point that I was making before about Jaguar Wright, how we should not take everything she say as gospel, and the slander will not be tolerated from some people. Some people just have to come out and put them in their place. I think I'll get into how I feel about that chick in a second. But anyway, this is Torture Talk. Let me get my spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. This is where all the beautiful, sexy ladies is at. You know what I'm saying? They always putting ones in the chat. So if you fellas are new here and y'all want to find some sexy, beautiful ladies that's single and ready to mingle, they in the chat. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is be respectful, shoot your shot, nigga. Anyway, all the beautiful, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones at. Just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content. It's absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, links is on the screen. Cash App, PayPal's in the description, all that good stuff. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 11,000. Million by Monday. And let me know where you're from. I always like to know where people from. All right, so we're going to get right to it, man. We're going to get to it. Let's do it. All right, this comes courtesy of Academics the Doodle Ball number 2. So we're going to watch this real quick and give our take. So let's go.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invite...
That's 100% facts. I think a lot of people do have platforms, and they platform people because they looking for viral moments, and they know that this is something that certain people want to hear. Like people like Jaguar, right? Because they feel the same way she feel with no evidence. So they just want to, validate themselves by listening to her and say, well, I knew. See, I had a feeling it was like that. And they don't really have any feeling. They had a feeling, but it's just because it's been promoted to them so long. Most people don't know what's going on in the industry. And these things been happening before Diddy and will happen after Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And these freak off parties, whatever you want to call them, that's what it is. For some reason, I don't understand why, and it's going to sound crazy, why freak off parties are demonized. You know what I'm saying? I would probably never go to any of them, but I just don't understand. Now, if it's children involved, of course, they all should be decapitated. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, if it ain't no children involved and it's all adults, then what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like, that's what the word adult mean. I mean, like, to be an adult, you can do what you want. That's what it is now. As long as you ain't doing it, children, and me stress that, because you should have your feet and hands cut off and you should be buried in cement alive. Simple as that. You get caught with kids, they should bury you alive in cement. No hands, no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's another story. But yeah. So Piers is right.
...are on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves.
Okay, so let me shoot him some bail. That's exactly what happened. I watched the interview in its entirety on this page, actually, so you can go check it out. I will put the what's the name up on the screen. Yeah, he clearly said, well, they're not here to defend themselves. And I've seen some other podcasters saying, well, this is what he gets for promoting propaganda, and he's always looking for a headline. I think a lot of y'all don't really know Piers Morgan, and y'all don't know what he stands for, and he don't be looking for a headline. Like, he may be one of the better journalists, that's very neutral, you should say. He's very neutral on a lot of things. Now, I might not agree with him on everything, but he's neutral on a lot of stuff. And he definitely called her out and said, yeah, they're not here to defend themselves.
But now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. And we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly.
Wow. I don't know if you heard what he just said. He said basically the lawyers of Jay-Z, specifically, I don't know if Jay-Z and Beyonce or just Jay-Z, have hit up his company to correct and edit the record of how they did the interview where Jaguar Wright was allowed to say whatever about Jay-Z. I'll play it again.
During that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too, and we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well,
now here's the thing. I understand why. I guess it's a thing where he apologized, but I don't think that Piers should have to apologize. I'll be honest with y'all, and the reason why I say that is because he got blindsided by that, and he definitely did say that they're not here to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they were, I don't know. I don't know if she was going into it, telling people that she was going to talk about Jay-Z. I don't think that was the case. I think from what I seen when she first came on, she basically said Diddy's, and then she included Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? So.
Diddy Combs is reportedly putting...
So, I don't know if you heard, they have issued an apology to to Jay-Z for even broadcasting and allowing the platform of Jaguar Wright. Now, it goes back to what Vlad was saying. Vlad was saying, yo, I wouldn't platform her. Piers Morgan was just like, why not? But clearly, he's changing his tune.
We do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cry...
No, I didn't see that part. And maybe the reason why Piers said, why not, is because maybe he didn't... I guess he don't really know too much about her. You know what I'm saying? And I guess now he knows. You know what I'm saying? So, let's keep it going.
There's a fire in a crowded theatre. There are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, now...
Wow, we apologize to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Sean Diddy Combs is reportedly putting together an O.J. Simpson-style legal...
Now, this is interesting. This is the first time we've heard that Jay-Z has responded to anything. Jay-Z, not that I'm like gun-ho on trying to implicate Jay in anything. Sometimes I bring up questions. And by the way, anytime, sometimes people feel like, I know some people feel like I should be sued already. I'm very careful in how I deal with stuff, and if I purport something. There was a fake and false rumor that went out recently. I seen someone who hit me up. They were like, hey, did you say that? There was a page, like, for example, let me see if I can find it. And I just want to debunk this really quickly because it does matter to me. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, so I understand why Piers and them apologized. Me personally, I don't know. I'm on the fence with the apology, but I understand why he did it. Because number one, his platform is pretty big. Number two, Jay-Z doesn't have any dirt on his name like that. And Beyonce definitely doesn't have no dirt on her name. So for this woman, this random woman out of nowhere, because she's not known in major circles when it comes to like Piers Morgan and Tucker Carlson and all of those guys. She's not known. And this is a different demographic of people who's listening. So you got people who think Puffy's a monster, but they really don't know too much. But then you got people who don't know nothing, who listens to him and they watch it and they don't, it's like you can't connect two people to this. So it's like, oh shit, Jay-Z too? And it's like, wait a minute. I heard Puffy was bad guy, but Jay-Z's a monster? That's even worse than a bad guy. Now they're looking at Jay-Z sideways. That can ruin a lot of things for him. Even when he does business deals, people will look at that and they would make a judgment off of what they seen someone say about him. You know what I'm saying? Even though they have no evidence. That's how people, the stock market does that all the time. Like people don't even have any evidence of anything, and they just will just take it aside. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand why he would want them to apologize. But maybe it wasn't an apology. Maybe they didn't want him to apologize. Maybe they just wanted him to edit it, and he decided to apologize. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Yeah. So I think is with the whole Jaguar Wright thing and her going on Piers Morgan. You got to understand that. I mean, her being on these and I don't even want to call it miscellaneous blogs. Her being on these smaller YouTube channels or these channels that nobody really know about, or only a certain demographic of people follow those channels, I don't think Jay-Z and Beyonce really cares about, because obviously this woman been saying things for years about them or whoever. You know what I'm saying? With no substantial evidence of anything when it comes to Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? So obviously she been saying these things and it's been getting in the way. But we're not even getting in the way. But when she goes on Piers Morgan, he has her on there. And I don't think Piers Morgan properly vetted her or found out about her. He just probably heard someone say, because the thing about Piers Morgan is he has a platform where it's uncensored. He want to be able to bring people on to talk about certain things. I don't think he really knew she was going to hit him with the whole Jay-Z thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it was more on the lines of what's the name? Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows that she been talking about this Diddy situation for a long time, but even though she hasn't really provided any evidence of anything, she just been saying stuff. People take her word for it. You know what I'm saying? So Piers Morgan issuing an apology, I mean, now that I think about it, it's really not that big of a deal but it does let you know that Jay-Z is listening and he sees this and his team sees this and they're like, you know what, maybe we need to shut this down now. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't know what's gonna happen with Jaguar. I don't know. I do have another episode coming up where she went back and forth with with Star from Star and Buck Wild, which was crazy. And I'm probably gonna drop that on the After Hours show. So make sure y'all check that out. But yeah, he interviewed her and ended up going left. And it really didn't even go anywhere. He just asked her some things and she basically took what he said and she tried to twist it and she was being sarcastic and he told her, listen, don't play with me. I'll take your fucking head off. And put your man on the phone. And she did that and they went back and forth. And so you already know. I don't even got to explain it. Y'all gonna hear it, you know what I mean, on the After Hours show. But I think this was something good for Piers to do, was to basically put that out there. Because she was saying some things about Jay-Z that was unsubstantiated. You know what I'm saying? Saying, oh, he's a monster. I keep telling everybody Beyonce and Jay-Z are monsters. And it's like, okay, enough is enough. So, all right, either way, man, 12 o'clock show coming up. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. See y'all. Peace. Bye.